Hi everyone, so Blizzard has just released the patch notes for Season 28, patch 2.75 and the PTR preview blog. So the PTR starts on the January 31st on the Tuesday and it lasts for 7 days. So this is a very short one, usually it's 2 weeks. And they might try to push out a season, maybe end of February or so, and go a little bit faster than we anticipated. But this patch is looking really amazing. I think they have a lot of cool stuff in here. The season theme is incredible, I believe. And there's a bunch of skill changes, item changes, a Natalia rework, and some other buffs for various sets that make this quite interesting season. In general, you can definitely see that the power is going to be very high with the season theme. And you're going to see this here in a second. You're going to unlock various bonuses with some kind of like skill tree, so to say. And the way this works is there is like some altar somewhere hidden in the festering woods that you go to and you make offerings. So you sacrifice certain items or materials and stuff like that. And then you unlock this like one by one until you have everything unlocked. And there's various damage bonuses, damage reduction, some really fancy quality of life features. And at the end you have these potion buffs. But that's not all. You also get double the amount of primal drops at the very end. So this is like the very last thing here. I have actually this mapped out with how this looks like, all the different effects. And you can see them here. So you start at the top with A, and then you can unlock either this or this. And from there you can go further down. And at some point, once you have done like one of these paths, you can go sideways here and then try to get everything else. And this has an increasingly higher cost, basically. It's not really anything too crazy. There is the costs here. So, for example, you start out with 10 usable parts, and then flawless diamonds and arcane dust and stuff like that, a great earth key, and then it just gets a bit more. You have to like sacrifice some souls, some blood shards. There's really only like 3 big things here, in my opinion, that we have to pay attention to. So number 1 is a challenge with cash at number 15. So you have to save your challenge with cash that you get on season start and then use it for the sacrifice. We've discussed this at length earlier during the stream, and I gotta say that there's not really any scenario where you would not sacrifice the challenge with cash unless you're like not playing the first week of the season or something. And then you can just get a boost anyway. So yeah, basically you're gonna sacrifice the challenge with cash, the first one, and you're gonna have to level the old-fashioned way. But there's some other like bonuses included, like the perma pools, the kill streaks are doubled. So leveling is going to be relatively fast no matter what, even without the level 70 weapon and all that stuff. Aside from this, there is the never-ending questions. So in case you're wondering what that is,
there's a note that drops after you complete, I think, the set dungeon.
Okay, thank you, Nini. So never-ending questions, it drops from set dungeons in some form. Apparently at the end or from the like unique monsters in set dungeons, I don't know exactly, but you might have to more or less farm set dungeons for this. So the good thing is that you don't actually have to complete the set dungeons objectives for this. You just have to defeat the monsters and clear it basically, and then eventually you're gonna get this. And finally, there's gonna be the Staff of Herding. So for this you have to grind Cheltara, you have to get the gemstone and then all the other materials, and you have to sacrifice that one. So there's gonna be kind of by far the most like time investment you have to do here from all these steps, I believe. And the rest is basically just stuff you grind anyway, like some keys, some blood shards, some bounties. So you might have to go a bit out of your way for like the first day or two to maybe do more bounties than usual and stuff like that, but nothing really crazy. So all these are very moderate costs here. And if you're wondering about the 1600 blood shards, this is greater with 110 you have to clear to unlock the cap of 1600 blood shards. So also very, very doable. And finally, you have the potion slots. So you need 55 primordial ashes. And there's a new feature, which is basically salvaging primals into primordial ashes. You get 55 per primal. It's a very weird number, I gotta say. And apparently it can kind of sanctify an item like we used to in Season 27 with a cost of 100 primordial ashes, and you can wear one of these crafted legendaries. It's not explained here, but apparently this is how it's gonna work. And you kind of have the sanctified effect without the extra powers. So that was kind of neat. I really like to have this feature in the game. And here to get the potion slots, which are very powerful. I'm gonna scroll up here again so you can read them. But they are really gonna be like the kicker here at the end of these this talent tree, basically. So the first one, you get basically Triune Rings. Yeah, kind of nice. Second one, 25% damage reduction. Yeah, not really crazy. But the third one, you get a random shrine or pylon effect when you drink your potion. So that is absolutely crazy. And we have to see how exactly that works. So I imagine it's going to be like a very short duration shrine or pylon. So you can't just have like, you know, a 1 minute condi every time you press your potion. That'll be way too ridiculous, because you can do this potentially up to 30 times doing a Greater Rift. So I expect that these pylons gonna last, you know, something like maybe 10 seconds. So you have like a kind of like a burst of power when you click them. And maybe the shrine's gonna last like a minute or so. You get like a nice little bonus. So this is my expectation. I don't think it's gonna be like a full duration shrine or pylon here. In case you're wondering, you don't actually have to make choices about what to unlock. You will have everything in the end, but the exact sequence might matter a little bit. So for example, there's some stuff like the double bounties. There's auto pickups of progression orbs. There's a bunch of damage and damage reduction buffs, and +1 progression orb like season 25. So lots of really interesting stuff here. Pets pick up items and salvage them for you. Pretty cool stuff. And you definitely want to unlock, especially like all these like farming related things that like speed up your progression, speed up your gearing at the early stages. And then you get all the damage and damage reduction stuff later, basically. And once you have done that, you're gonna get those wings here. And I think they look pretty amazing. So they're like very like demonic, but also have this like kind of like silver like glow around it. And the whole theme of the season reminds a bit of like a new Diablo game coming out very soon, in my opinion. So when we zoom in a little bit and look at this here, we have this here at the very end. So yeah, in any case, in terms of like any kind of broken effects, I think like first feedback maybe even already, I think this +1 progression orb is gonna be too ridiculous if that works in parties with +4 progression orbs for every single pack. Like imagine you kill one yellow and you get like 10% progression, and that's not even counting the minions or anything. So that's a bit bonkers and unnecessary if that works that way. Other than that, there's this crits grant resources, which is going to be quite powerful for, well, the best build in the game, which is Tarasha, barring a potential insane outcome of the Natalia rework, which we'll see. But aside from this, yeah, not really that many builds really benefit that much from extra resources, turns out. I went through all the builds, and yeah, it's kind of nice to get extra resources in some cases, but nothing really crazy. But especially Star-Packed Wizards gonna profit from this. Raker buff, which is also a very strong build, will profit from this. And then, yeah, a bunch of like maybe smaller, you know, lower tier builds will also like that. But yeah, we'll see exactly. Then we come to the monk skill changes. So kind of interesting, they reworked especially raiment related stuff in this patch for monks, but they didn't actually rework the raiment set itself, almost. So basically they made Combination Strike a way more useful passive skill, buffing your spirit generators by 100% damage now for 10 seconds. So you kind of want to use multiple generators on a raiment build. They also buffed some of the monk generators, especially Deadly Reach, which is the new assimilation now. Gives you 15% extra damage for the third hit and for every enemy hit with that third attack for 10 seconds. So this not only lasts longer, but it also gives you triple the effect of assimilation beforehand. And you can still use assimilation on top of that if you like. Kind of interesting. We'll see if like some monk builds will incorporate this. This might be strong enough for even builds like Tempest Rush to include Deadly Reach now to get this bonus, and then 10 seconds later do the like kind of smaller pop or something like that. Speaking of Tempest Rush, they also buffed that a little bit for POJ at least, and this Raiment rework here. So Raiment, I'm not sure where this is coming from, but basically doing a Bounty Monk now and a T60 Monk is going to be ridiculous and super easy, and yeah, everyone is going to have that basically, because it just costs 1/3 of the previous cost now to dash around. So in our Raiment combo, here we come. They did a bunch of other buffs to various sets. So Savage got a ×2, which makes it kind of an okay farming build now. Nothing for RGK though. We have an unnerf of Bone Spear, almost. So Bone Spear went back to 9,000. It was previously 10,000. And Simulacrums have the triple bonus again. So this is almost like the old Bone Spear. This is going to be really nice for Necromancers. Necromancers are going to be like the class overall. So you have like a really good farming build now. You have the RGK build, you have the Trash Killer build, you have the Rats, you have the Bone Spears, you have really good leveling. So all around Necromancer has everything with various builds now. Wizard gets a Typhon buff, which is kind of irrelevant, I guess, because Tarasha exists, which is the best build in the game. And we have an UE buff as well, which is something like a 9 tiers buff or so. 1700% increased damage per point of discipline. So that leads to a 140,000% damage bonus, by the way, in case you like big numbers. And finally, the Natalia rework. So that was a quite big one. And I already have a planner here for some various setups that are going to be quite interesting to see. We don't really know how it works. We have to wait for the PTR. But yeah, depending on the mechanics, this could turn out incredible or really, really bad. So first of all, they buffed all the spike drop related items. So Chain and Bolter gets like a 200% damage buff. And you have the same on Demon's Demise. You have the same on the Tragul Coils as well, which now gives you the Scatter rune instead of the Impaling Spines rune. So you have 2 spike traps, and then you can choose whatever rune to change the effect a little bit. And then the Natalia set that is reworked to a full spike trap build. So Reign of Vengeance is dead, and instead you have this. And especially the 2-piece bonus is like the one that gives us the most questions here, I guess. So it says hitting an enemy summons a spike trap if it's on your action bar. And this could mean anything. So if this like procs for every enemy hit on every single attack, that's going to be ridiculous. You're going to spawn thousands of spike traps basically. Or it's going to be like the first enemy hit. And then you have to try to like maximize the number of hits with like high attack speed or with strafe plus generator combo or something like that. So we'll see. But depending on what happens, it's going to be pretty ridiculous. And then you have the 6-piece bonus here that gives you lots of spike trap damage. And then each consecutive blast from a detonation chain reaction will deal 10% more damage than the previous blast. So first of all, we have to see how this more damage works. If this just adds to this number, which would make it kind of irrelevant. Or if it's actually like a 10% extra multiplier so that it just like scales exponentially. Or maybe it's just like 10% additively stacking with each other. And depending on how this turns out, this could be ridiculous, especially if you can kind of keep like an ongoing chain that just explodes in the same area going. So it could be like some nutty Rift Guardian killer. This could be insane for AoE clear. So you just make like a large pull and then everything explodes, and it just explodes faster and faster and everything dies. So we'll see. But it's definitely going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Personally, I've been looking forward to a spike trap playstyle for the longest time, and I'm kind of sad to see the Reign of Vengeance playstyle go. I was kind of hoping we'd get like a real Natalia rework, and then maybe they would do like an LOD spike trap build. But here we are. I am not too sad about it. So let's see how this will go. This idea is actually fairly close to something I proposed long ago for like Demon Hunter set reworks and stuff, or like new set ideas. So yeah, pretty cool to see. And that's also pretty much it for the PTR, for like an overview. The PTR starts on Tuesday. Obviously, I'm gonna be there to test it all and keep you updated with lots of videos. And if you wanna stop by the stream and get the info directly, then feel free to do so. But I'm very much excited for the season. I gotta say, this looks pretty amazing. Definitely some tweaks they could do for the season theme itself, for the costs, for some of those powers perhaps. Maybe we're gonna see some other updates here on the sets. Maybe they're even gonna throw in an extra buff for Witch Doctors or the Crusaders, which got nothing from this patch. But we'll see. I mean, on the other hand, Barbarian also didn't really get much if you think about it. So this is kind of a nice little thing to like balance out the sets a little bit. And the same here with the Typhon. I don't really expect anyone to really play those builds that much. But especially Masquerade is looking good. Especially Monk is going to be good with Wrathful Light and Inner. And then we have the Demon Hunter stuff that's going to be quite exciting. And obviously we have the Nova, we have the Tarasha. So there's like a bunch of the builds that we already know from Season 27. Unfortunately, the Sanctified Powers are gone. So I don't think that this new Primordial Ashes feature is going to preserve those Sanctified Powers. And instead it's just going to be like this one free primal that you can wear. And this is it. So it's a bit sad to see that they didn't take at least the prime candidates, like the favorites like missiles and these kind of things to add as a permanent item to the game. But oh well. In any case, this is it for the overview for this PTR. I gotta say, I'm not disappointed. This was a long wait, but well worth it, I believe. So we're gonna have a lot of fun for this kind of like send-off, like last season for most people, I guess, when it comes to Diablo 3, before they move over to Diablo 4. And also for me, I guess it's gonna be like the last time I'm really gonna be blasting the 3 before the 4 comes. And we're gonna play like future seasons, probably much less. But we never know. And for now, I think this is going to be awesome. This is it, what I have to share for now. I have the links for this blog post, for my Natalia setup and some other stuff here in the description. So go check them out. And obviously, as I mentioned, I'm going to be covering everything for you guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.